hello, my wonderful spirit guides. Yeah, I kind of got a little bit out of hand today with my makeup, didn't I? Well, I did not plan on doing this, but my hand got a bit carried away. I just kind of, yeah, so, you know, I start and I'm like this, do, then I'm like, oh, we're going to the forehead, are we? Oh, okay, what's happening here? Then suddenly I'm a full-blown neon leopard sort of thing. But hopefully it's not going to be too distracting or anything, and I hope that you like it, actually. I haven't done anything like super exciting makeup-wise in a while. I know I always do like a makeup look, but nothing like an actual face paint, you know? So, yeah, I got it on my teeth. But yeah, I thought I'm going to be listening to ARCA, and I love ARCA. And last time I listened to ARCA, it had such a cool vibe. I just felt like the makeup could kind of suit it. You know, it is kind of hyper pop sort of experimental stuff. So yeah, this is who I am today. Ferocious Fern. Fierce Fern? I quite like that one. Fierce Fern. She fierce. Fierce Fern. Anyway, let's get bloody well to it. But if you would like to see the uncut version, then do go over to my Patreon. Also for Patreon, I'm going to be reacting to Phoebe Bridgers very soon, but I won't be releasing that to YouTube until a later date. Also, I'm going to be reacting to Bjork Utopia-like music videos. If you would like to see that, then do become a patron on my Patreon. Yeah. But here you can expect to see, obviously today, ARCA, and then probably going to do Lorde and Florence and the Machine coming in the next, you know, next week and then the next week after that. And follow me on Instagram if you want, and I will follow you back. On Patreon, all the tiers are at £3, conversion rates apply, until I get to 20, and I'm at 18, so 2 more people, and then I'm going to be changing the tiers around a little bit, because obviously I can't do song requests for absolutely everyone. It, you know, it's just the way business goes, isn't it? But also one more thing. Thank you so much for everyone who watched my latest video about my story. Just one of my stories, but one that was my most recent and my last one. You know, still healing from it, as I am many of my experiences, but I'm just so glad that you're so kind. And if you haven't watched it, I'll link it in the description. And if you don't want to watch it because you might find it too uncomfortable, I totally respect you and I appreciate that completely. Anyway, I hope this kind of makeup doesn't get in the way of my facial expressions. I don't think so. My facial expressions are too wild, and I am a wild cat today. Wow. No, stop. Okay, let's get started. This is always the annoying part, trying to get the hair to work with the headphones. Right, okay. So the first song is called Piel. Oh, someone also told me that I need to look at the lyrics as well. Oh my goodness. I'm so glad I remembered that. Yes, they've got it on Genius. That's fantastic. Ooh. That's really beautiful. Ooh. I really like the humming, like very theatrical. Then you got that weird almost feedback sound that obviously nothing can stay beautiful for long. There has to be something that makes you uncomfortable. Wow, you hear like the actual like swallowing, like ooh. Like you can actually hear like the ASMR kind of effect going on. That's really interesting. I suppose it actually promotes intimacy. It's very raw and real and up close and with you. It's silent around, and this is just like a intimate conversation. Wow. Oh, wow. Oh, fucking hell. You know, for a moment, it replacing that high pitched sound with that like bass, like gives you such a release, and like it's almost like you're like, thank goodness for that sound. Like the bass sounds even more like enriching, because you're like, this high sound is a little bit uncomfortable, and then that bass comes in, it's like, oh, thank goodness. But then when the high sound comes in on top of that, you're like, hang on, you sound good. You actually don't sound uncomfortable anymore. You kind of match. It's really playing with sound and playing with the notions of like highs and lows and how they complement each other, and how like too much of one can make the other one seem better. And it's just how, it's playing with sound, and it's very, very smart. It's like a movie, like War of the Worlds. Stunning vocals. I love it. It's so beautiful and dark. The low vocals and the high sound on top there. Oh, the way that transcends. This is actually stunning. Oh yes, it's one of those albums where the songs run into each other. I love it when people do that with albums. I was trying to make a concept album that does that, and it's harder than you think. Well, for me it is. Wow, wow, that song, beautiful. And I was reading the lyrics a little bit, but I don't want to be reading constantly as I'm trying to listen. There is a part of me that quite enjoys listening to it in another language that I don't understand, because I get to focus on more details than just trying to follow the words. But it's nice to look at them as well, like afterwards. Sorry, am I just going to get hairs on me constantly? Get away, you hairy beast. Right. Take the skin from yesterday off me. I don't know how to fall. The trees die standing. I really like that. Like, I'm not entirely sure what it all means yet, but the trees die standing. Damn. Just little lines like that just get you.
Take the skin from yesterday off me. I don't know how to fall down. Take the glimmering skin off me. Take the money. Take the mouth of honey off me. Take my skin from yesterday off me. A shadow of glimmers on your skin. And from the occasion of an instance, maybe without you, I don't know anything.
Wow, that's extremely poetic. I still don't really know what any of it means. But when I think of take the skin from yesterday off me, though, I think that means like, you know, all the strains of yesterday, release them. Just like who I was yesterday is not who I am today. So let's in the past sort of thing. You know, I like that. I like that. Anyway, next one is. Oh no, it's going to be like that again, isn't it? Where I say things wrong. Anoche? Anoche. We'll see. Anoche. Wow, let me just say, the vocals, they are so theatrical. They're so like operatic as well, but like not too operatic, but like very theatrical, very. It's just emotive. That deeper vocal. Oh. That is, wow, I really like that deeper vocal. I can't do that. Anoche. I can't go low. Anoche. Oh God. I normally always try and mimic voices or noises. I can't do that one. So much imagery in my head. Oh, it's so beautiful. So much imagery in my head. I don't know what it is, but every time it comes to like this type of music, I got it with Sophie, I got it with Bjork, I got it with Arca. I do have synesthesia, like I've said 1,000,000 times, but for anyone who doesn't know, I have synesthesia. But when it comes to these like sort of artists, it's not just colours and patterns, it's pure imagery. And like it could be the most random thing. Like in this, I'm just seeing like it's also something I don't even think I've even ever seen before. But I just see like a kind of blue sky, not dark blue, not light blue, just kind of like a blue. And it's got like silhouettes of like almost like fawns, kind of like just blowing in one direction. And then I saw like driving in a car and looking out the window and seeing like sky lines and like going past. It wasn't anything specific. Like, it's very specific. It wasn't anything like that made sense, but I could just see it. These tones of blue and like cold day almost. Oh, gorgeous. I'm going to read the lyrics a little bit now because I'm interested, but I can't. It's really hard to read them at the same time as listening, just because obviously I don't know what words go with what words in English, and I don't know what a sentence is finished or you know. Okay.
Last night I dreamt of you, your figure and your arms. Last night I yearned for you, even though I hadn't met you yet.
Never actually met that person or seen them yet. Well, you might have seen them, but I haven't met them or felt their presence yet. But they yearned for them.
Alone I healed you, the wounds of the wars you fought. Last night I loved you, and you left me shattered. Last night I dreamt of our simultaneous death. Last night I cried, out of happiness, how strange it made me feel. That the love has rinsed me, that your blood warmed the tissue of my entrails. Last night I dreamt of you, regardless of being real or imaginary. Last night I was smiling, thinking that you were possible. It's enough for me to know, it's enough for me to know.
Wow, again, not entirely sure what it's about. Definitely dreaming of something that is a fantasy. It's something that's a fantasy and almost hoping or wishing, manifesting it to be real. Whatever that may be, a person, a dream, a want, a desire, a feeling, whatever it may be, there is some kind of fantasy and manifestation. Thinking, because it says, thinking that you were possible, it's enough for me to know. Maybe it's a lost love that maybe, didn't happen for certain reasons. I don't know. Okay, I'm going to carry it on. Oh. This song song really is just beautiful. Like, I don't feel any tension in this one. Oh, the vocals. Ooh. Oh, that was really good. That was really good. I didn't feel too much tension in that one at all, actually. I just felt like motion, and that like it almost sounds like, you know, like brushes being kind of scraped along a canvas or like a car. You know, like imagine painting an old car. It kind of had that sound to it. Yeah, definitely very homemade kind of sound there. And the vocals, just the deep vocals are what really get me. They just, I can feel them in the pit of me. Okay, next song, Saunter. Oh, see, okay, hang on. You know I was saying about the brushes against the car? Well, that's now sounds like little twigs being slapped against the car. Maybe something that's not as, this song might not be something so, you know, like soothing and beautiful. It might be something a little bit more tense, gritty. Ooh, little droplets. Oh, this is very much just instrumental. Oh, I love it. Such hard-hitting keys. Yeah, just the way they're like the hitting of the keys, like dun, dun, dun. It's just so like it's just hard hitting, and I like it. Oh! Are these vocals ARCA then? Pretty incredible. They fluctuate a lot. And I believe here they are saying, "Take off my skin from yesterday," a bit like the first song. I wonder if that'll be a running theme throughout. You know, a bit like in Bjork's album, that kind of had a running theme, what I call a motif, which is very much used in films and plays and so on, where a certain sound or lyric will keep coming back, and it really drives the film and makes you notice certain characters or emotions or feelings, you know? Ooh, that tickles my ears. Okay, next song is called Urchin. I don't think this one has any lyrics. It's not on Genius. Unless they just don't have that one. Oh, yes. Oh. That little vocal up there. So bonka, 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 bonka. I love that. That's really cool. Ooh. See that sound? That sounded like a submarine. And the song's called Urchin, and you know, sea urchins. But that sounded like a submarine, so it feels like we could be, you know, going underwater a little bit. Yeah. Mother flipper, this is beautiful. Sounds like it's underwater as well. Oh my god, it's gorgeous. That yeah, whatever. That gives it this feeling of movement, like it's almost like there's some tension, some like it's like a thriller almost. Also, you know, a lot of the time when you're deep underwater, a lot of the fishes look like aliens, don't they? And arguably they are aliens, but this kind of gives me underwater, and it's that unknown mystery of what's down there, and this song is giving me that mystery, and the way that like do 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 do, that theatrical, but like almost like it's moving towards something, going deeper, maybe finding out more, finding out truth. There's like a mystery unfolding within it. I don't know, I feel like I'm watching a movie listening to this. Wow. Ah. Oh. I feel like I'm in like a simulator. Submarine simulator. No. I feel like I'm in like an underwater spacecraft simulator. That's what I feel like I'm in right now. And I'm like going through all the water, like dodging all these like alien jellyfish looking angular fish and all these things. And, you know, like an underwater alien war almost. You know how I meant by how to do. It felt like it was going somewhere, and it went to this big like a war, like a big war underwater, but in like a really dark, kind of cool, mysterious, fantasy way. Oh wow. Has ARCA done music for film? Yeah, sorry. I always talk over the music and then realise, no, that's quite an important thing to say, and I want you to actually be able to hear me properly. Has ARCA done music for film? Because they should. They just should. Okay. What? Okay, this is called a Reverie, and this is already like royal feeling. Like, yeah, what? Okay, Reverie. Ooh. Oh, the way it went. Clever. Oh, the way it keeps detuning. Oh, it keeps detuning, like. So it's doing like little scoops and slides, like pitch. It's it's like pitch bending is what it's called, but it's like it sounds so good. It sounds so traditional and structured, and then suddenly it's like, it's like it's throwing off that kind of structured, traditional, or like sound, like I said, royal, like I said. It's throwing it around. Oh, this is really good. Ah! Oh, that distortion with that violin. This is too good. This one. I was going to say Urchin was my favourite so far, but actually I think this one is now. It's got so much to it. That just every little sound has something going on, and that like that little violin sound, and like that distorted, like that distorted, gritty sound with like all like the traditional sound at the start, all being like rhythmically placed, shortened, and like with every rhythmic beat. It's just so much to it that my mind is just like exploding in many different areas. Oh! Yes! vocals! This is gorgeous. Wow, that was gorgeous. Ah, that bit at the end, you just, you know, the vocals are in the background and you just got all this like ambient, you know, atmospheric sound that's just like you're washed away with it and you're just moving, you're in this atmosphere, and then it goes whoom, like that, and you can feel it coming ever so slightly, and it goes whoom, as if it's like a clam and you've just gone into the clam's mouth and it goes whoom, like that. I like that. Lyrics.
When love arrives like this, in this way, the Jenipap tree comes to life again.
Oh, like the tree that died standing. Is it going back to that? Okay, it's like a story.
And it doesn't know how to cry. Open me up. When love arrives like this, in this way, no. It doesn't know how to cry. Love me once again if you dare. Love me once again if you dare. Love me once again.
I love that. It is a story. It's a cryptic story, but it's a story nonetheless. You know, the tree comes to life but doesn't know how to cry. Open me up. It's very much like the tree is the body and the mind, isn't it? Open me up. Let me, you know, get these emotions out. Wow. Okay. Next song is called Castration, actually. Castration. Right, well, let's see what we're castrating then. Another one that doesn't have lyrics here, so... Woo! Distorted. Okay, what I've noticed is like Sophie, Arca, FK Twigs, Charlie XCX all love to use these sounds that go to one ear to the next, and they have feelings of spaceships going by or cars going by and vehicles rushing by, and it's a very common theme that I found, and I really like it because it arisens your senses, in the words of Bjork. Yeah, it's really good. I wonder what it means, if there's any meaning to it, or if it's just a cool sound. Oh! Nice. Oh, nice. Oh my gosh, that's scary. Horror movie. Oh! That's cool. You're waiting for it and it doesn't come. For a minute there, that reminded me of a band called The Doors. It was like because The Doors were a band in the 60s and 70s, if you didn't know, and they were pretty much like post progressive rock, okay? And progressive rock is like Yes. And I can't think of another one right now. Frank Zappa or something. Anyway, Pink Floyd in some songs, I suppose. Anyway, progressive rock was kind of experimental, actually, in a way. There'd be moments where you'd have like, you know, like a 2-minute long verse, and then suddenly you'll get this chorus out the blue, and then, you know, the chorus would be like really kind of like interesting sounds, like math metal kind of guitar playing, but not metal, but like you know, interesting notes that don't really go together, played on a thing called a tonal scale, which is really a scale that doesn't really exist. It's just a combination of strange notes together. And then it would go back into something really slow and like for like 5 minutes. And then it would go into like this big climax at the end. Anyway, the Doors were post that, but the Doors had a lot of sounds like that. And that doom doom.
We want the world and we want it now. Right, Mama? Now.
Reminded me of that a bit. How it was rhythmic at first. It was like dun, 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 and then it just went into this like emptiness and dun, dun. It like makes you go, you know, it throws you off a little bit. And it did remind me of Jim Morrison and The Doors. If you don't know who The Doors are, I suggest you check them out. I imagine you know who they are. But if you don't, check them out. They're brilliant. Different, very different to this, but gave me that feeling. Ooh. Little change up there. Yeah, that rhythmic sound is almost kind of drum and bass at this point, but more drum than bass. Oh no, it's very distorted drums, rhythms. I wouldn't even call them drums. Ooh, I like that then. Here we go again with the, oh, that was like kind of scary. Next song is called Sin Rumbo.
Girando alto, no hay el sol, te pierdo otra vez más.
Revolving around the sun, I lose you once again. Like in a way that sounds like like every year I lose you again. And is it like is it possibly grief? You know, is it possibly about death? That anniversary of a loved one dying and then feeling that feeling of loss every time that date comes around? I'm not entirely sure yet. Maybe I'll read the lyrics now just to see.
There was no warning this time, and such pain. What bitterness, not knowing, not being able to feel you, to be able to kiss you.
It does sound a little bit like that, doesn't it?
I see you changing at distance. Again, the distance stuff. I come to adore you, but from a distance I will yearn for you. I walk aimlessly, but I walk. I still walk.
Wow, is this whole album somewhat to do with the death of a loved one or a past self, an emotion, a fantasy, a dream, you know? Is it the death of something? It seems very sad, honestly. I see you changing at distance. I come to adore you, but from a distance. I'm also, I've noticed of a lot of the songs, they have this story, and it's like pain, pain, pain. But at the end, it's often like a possibly, but maybe it could be okay. But I wonder this. I have hope. There's hope at the end of every song, nearly. But I still walk. It's like I keep going. I keep being strong. Just like this album has felt so much. It's just like this feeling of movement. Wow. Wow.
No saber, no poder besarte al
just those little moments. You can actually feel the distance in this song because you can feel this emptiness, this kind of like singing into a void almost. Not much going on, then you'll suddenly get this ba-dum, you know, just like waking you up. Not waking you up, but like bringing your attention back to the song. You know, you're listening, you're following this vocal, but and it's a feeling of saying, I'm still here. I'm still here. Look, this chaos, this darkness, this heaviness, this thing is still here, still here. That's just my metaphoric observation, I suppose. Oh, that's so nice. What? So much range. Oh, that's a very emotional song, honestly. Like that, actually, all the songs are very emotional, but that one, like the first one, actually, I think like the first one, or was it the second one? I think it's the first one, really held space for those vocals. Oh my god, Arca's range. I think it's Arca singing, I definitely do. But the range from being so deep and low to like those high operatic theatrical notes just shows the sheer like you know, spectrum of their range. Okay, next song is Coraje. 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 Courage. I think I'm doing okay with these ones. Courage. 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 Is it courage? Does it mean courage? Courage? Let me look it up. Look at me, trying to understand, thinking I know best. Courage. It means courage! I am the knower of all languages across all the lands. I know all of them. I know every language. Now that I know this. I got one word right and I'm getting a bit big for my boots. Let's hear how it said.
Coraje.
Oh, very different to how I said it. Coraje.
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 Coraje. Coraje. You have so much coraje. Was that good? You've got so much coraje. Let's see how to say you've got so much. We're just doing this for 1 second. 1 second, then back to it, I promise. You have so much. Okay.
Tienes tanto coraje. Tienes tanto coraje.
Tienes tanto coraje. I think that sounded good. Tienes tanto coraje. Is that good? I feel really Spanish when I do that. Tienes tanto coraje. Let's get on with the music, shall we? That was so random. The deep vocal again. Very nice. The texture on the vocals is amazing. So tubular. The vocals vocals sound like a organ being played, you know, like it sounds like an organ. But I feel like there's an effect called ensemble or maybe chorus on the vocals, and it like makes the vocals sound like there is many vocals, or that there are two vocals like layered on top of each other, but slightly different to actually layering vocals on top of each other. It's more subtle. It sounds like it's being, you know, like, you know, when you talk for a tube. I don't have a tube. I don't really tend to leave tubes lying around. But you know what I mean anyway. I don't need to demonstrate it. But it has that kind of sound and makes it sound watery too. This is very romantic sounding. Oh. Again, the hard-hitting keys. Sounds like I use Logic X Pro, and it sounds like this effect that they use called ghost keys, something to do with ghost. But it sounds like they're using that and not really changing it up too much from what the original sound is, apart from making it match the vocal sound a bit more, giving it more of a watery, tubular kind of rounded sound, I suppose, but it sounds very similar. Less delay and echo. Oh! Wow, the uniqueness of that. Wow. Wow. Okay, hang on. The vocals went from like, wah, like a child almost, like a child like crying, like, ah, wah, to like an adult almost, just then, not even like, not an open throat, not like, oh, not like Arca has been doing this whole time. More of a chest voice, a straight tone, like dun 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 dun. We've not really heard Arca do that voice yet on this album. It's been very oh, and this is like dun, chest and nasal mixing together. It's like two characters. And this is like a memory almost. Or a thought. Really letting you sit with those lyrics now. The music is letting you think. Lovely. So the lyrics.
Love of my loves, it pains me to write you like this, but there is nothing left other than silence. And how? How to love from afar? How to love?
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
There is a door. There is an open door. Orphaned. Ever since I saw you, there was no confusions. You're not for me. You're not for me. You're not for me.
Wow. So going back to the first song, where I think it was the first song or maybe the second song, I can't quite remember, but they said, you know, I haven't seen you yet, but I'm longing and yearning for you. Like, I haven't seen you, but I want you, and so on like that. But now they're saying, you know, now I've seen you, there's no confusion, you're not for me. So they've met, or they've seen a side to them that that was hidden before. You know what I mean? And now they've changed their mind. Do you know what I mean? There is a door, there is an open door, orphaned. That's interesting. I'm trying to wonder what that means. Like, I guess like with the tree when it said open me, like open, let those emotions out. Maybe when once opened, the emotions were neglected, orphaned, you know. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not entirely sure, honestly. But very beautiful nonetheless. Okay, next song is called Whip. That was a whip. That was a whip. Damn. Getting spanked left, right and centre. Okay. I feel personally attacked. What? Oh my god! Excuse me, what have I ever done to you? Oh. Okay, well I've just been whipped into next Tuesday and now we got this siren-like sound from a song called Desafío. Does that mean unsafe? Should we have a look? Shall I have a look? Desafío, unsafe? It means challenge. Oh, I thought I was like magic and I could understand, but no, let's hear it.
Desafío.
Desafío. Desafío. Do you want a desafío? Do you want a desafío? Okay, enough of that. I feel like I'm just being like, I don't know, offensive at this point. I'm not trying to be, I'm genuinely trying to do it right. Pretty vocals, actually. Okay. This actually has a bit more of a structure to it. It's got like a bit of a kind of hip hop mixed with like a bit of you know, like electronic music, but not too experimental, like electro pop a little. Reading the lyrics here though, ooh, a little bit scary. Touch me for the first time, kill me again and again, love me and tie me down, and I'm not going to say that on YouTube. Look for me and penetrate me and devour me. Okay. I feel you inside me, look how I burst. I hope this isn't literal. Okay, ready or not, there is an abscess within, not abscess, making it really disgusting. An abyss within me. Ready or not, there is an abyss within me. Okay, I will pour out all my love, just look for me and give me your warmth. I'll pour out all my love, just look for me, give me your warmth. That's quite nice and good. Love me and tie me down and look for me and penetrate me and devour me. I feel you inside me, look how I burst. Okay. Sounds kind of sexy and terrifying, but it also could be more to do with like the mind, you know? Maybe it doesn't mean literally do it to me. Maybe it means do it to me in my heart and mind. Or it could mean quite literally do it to me. Do it to me. Sorry, I'll go back a bit. To me, it says, there is an abyss within me, but it sounds like in English, it sounds like, beg on your knees for me. Maybe I'm just hearing that in my own, dark depths of my mind. Maybe I'm hearing that. Yeah, but it sounded a bit like that. It's cool. I like this one. Yes. The harmony. Oh, I want to see how to say that. Ready or not, but it's like Let me just have a look. Is it Spanish or is it Portuguese though? Oh, yeah, definitely Spanish. Lista o no? Okay. Lista o no? Okay, there's listo o no or lista o no. So I don't know which one it is. Listo? Listo o no? Yay! Listo o no? Wow. That was nice. I like that one. Oh, before it goes into that. Listo o no? I really like that. Lista o no? Or listo o no? You'll have to let me know which one it is. Okay, next song is called... Oh no. Fugaces. Oh no, that sounds really silly. Fugaces. I'm going to look that one up again. Sorry, this whole thing has just become a Spanish lesson. Fleeting, it means...
Fugaces.
Fleeting, and it means fleeting. That's cool. We'll work on the accent. Oh, yes. I love those vocals. Wow. I love that, like, subtle flute-like sound on the vocal. That's cool. That sound is almost like Mongolian throat singing. You know how to do that, but on top it's like, yeah, it's a bit like that, but definitely not the way I did it. Fluttering. Oh yeah. Love that sound. Slightly like a guitar. No, it's like... I can't remember the pitch, but slightly like a guitar. I really liked that sound though. Yeah, I was getting a bit like, this is beautiful just to listen to. I did like it, but it's just like a yeah, and then that kind of with that little sound there changed it up a little bit, which is nice. Okay, let's look at the lyrics. Still a little bit left there. Okay, so
What a disappointment! That I only have fleeting memories, your eyes of morning. You looked for me.
like it said in the last song, you got to look for me, and then you could do whatever you want to me, basically.
You looked for me, and I found you. Your taste in my mouth. No, I don't want to live as a prisoner of melancholy.
Ah, statement of life. I was going to say the year, but it's of life, isn't it, really?
What a disappointment, your tender betrayal. The world frightens me. How black this abyss is. I scare myself. I'm only seeking warmth. I don't want to live as a prisoner of melancholy. Why did you lie to me? Love dodges me.
Oh, so obviously some betrayal, quite obviously, has happened, and then I'm only seeking warmth. It's like, I'm only seeking kindness and good energy. I'm not seeking anything other than that. And I don't want to be a prisoner of melancholy. I just love that. And why did you lie to me? And then love dodges me. And that is like the sad feeling that we get, isn't it? When our hearts get broken, or again and again we go, I just think love kind of looks at me and goes the other way, and it chooses other people. It's like real defeatism. Wow. Okay, 2 more songs left. This whole album is a total story, and I've loved it. Okay, Miel. We'll go with Miel. Okay. Ooh.
Sabrás qué comer.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, there's always something new that Arca does differently within the vocals, and every single song has something new. Like then, how it was like, hard for me to mimic that, but I really liked that. I have been feeling like. I don't know, like this again is another very slow song. As much as it is beautiful, there are moments where I kind of am like drifting away a little bit. I feel like this would be a great album to listen to lying down, eyes closed, and just really in the moment hearing it. But then you get little moments like that little vocal coming in that makes you go, oh, okay, something just to keep you here, keep you focused too. And of course, it's storytelling as well, and I really appreciate that. And I imagine if you speak Spanish, it's like way more like you could appreciate it even harder, just being able to hear it all. But I actually kind of like not knowing exactly what Arca's saying, like I said before, just so I can figure it out afterwards and just read the emotion. The vocal. Oh, okay. That was very cool, actually. He wasn't my favourite though. I liked I did like. There's many moments and like vocally that are very magical to hear. But maybe it's because we're nearing the end now. I kind of get like this sometimes, don't I? Where I get a bit like, oh yeah, towards the end. But hopefully this last song really, I don't know, really hopefully that really changes my mind maybe. But lyric wise though,
You will know what to eat, you will know where the honey is the honey. You will know where there is honey.
I can't even read English.
And I don't know how to find honey without you. I am alone without you. You will know where there is honey. Look deep into my eyes because I don't know anymore. Undress me. You will know where there is honey, where there is honey. You'll know where there is honey, where there is soil. Eat me slowly.
Okay, kind of dark, but like it kind of is going with the theme again, isn't it? Okay, last song, Child. Right, before I know we're 11 seconds in, but some of these sounds throughout the album, especially that, is reminding me of the film The Shining. It's very like dong, 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 dong. You know, I can't remember exactly what The Shining does, but it's something like a something like that. But this has that kind of same sound. You know? Ooh. Wow, that's cool. Okay, that's cool. Wow. This is pretty cool, you know, like I know again it's just instrumental, but I love it. And I feel like a few of the just instrumental ones on this album I've actually adored, like really liked, almost more than the ones with singing in at times. Well, for instance, Urchin, it's definitely my second favourite, maybe joint first with Reverie. And I was just trying to wonder, why is this song called Child? I just want to know why exactly. Oh, slowing down. Very cinematic. Wow. Very interesting. That's very interesting to end on, isn't it? That song, because it's, you know, in a way the real end song is Miel. And that the Child song is just more of like an outro to that song in a way. But I'd love to know why it's called Child. Okay, final thoughts. Here we go. I'm going for it. So when that album first started, I had this real sensation of, oh yes, the imagery, the vocal, like the sounds, and like I just felt very released in myself. It felt really, really good. And then as I started to read the lyrics too, I was like, okay, a little bit confusing, but a few songs go by and I'm like, oh, there's a story here, because there's, you know, reusing lyrics from different songs and adding them in different context, or, you know, changing the development of where those lyrics go. So like, you know, 1 minute being closed and wanting something, the next minute being opened, the next minute being closed again, 1 minute desiring something, 1 minute being disappointed, the next bit being you know, take me, look for me, the next bit being I found you and you betrayed me. There's a lot of it's such a storyline going on, and I still don't yet quite know the full story. It's like a mystery. It's a mystery. It's a cryptic story. Of course, I imagine quite a few of you to know exactly what the story is. I found that very interesting. Anyway, so as it went on, I was like, oh, okay, a little bit of a storyline. And then you'd get the songs like Urchin, and I think Saunter had no lyrics. Did Saunter have lyrics? Yeah, I really liked Saunter as well. I think there might be some at the end there, I'm not entirely sure. But I like that too. I like the ones that didn't really have a lot of singing in, because they had more musical stuff going on. However, the ones with singing in, I really liked the different vocal techniques that were being used. Like 1 minute being like, ooh, the next minute being like, ah, or ah, or all those, but in a nice way. The Urchin was cool because I got like a super like cool visual for that. And same with Reverie. I really felt that one too. But I will say it got to a point where some of the maybe slower ones, maybe not even just slow, they just, some of them I can't really remember maybe. They feel a bit like they were beautiful and they had little moments that were great, but the song as a whole didn't really capture me. Maybe I need to be lying down and relaxing when I'm listening to it. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. It was very, very, very different to the Kick Eye album. The Kick Eye album had like fast-paced, heavy, like blasting sounds. It was more electronic, more fierce, I suppose. This one had a real personal feel. I suppose that's why the album is called ARCA. It's a very personal album with a true storyline, a bit more like Utopia from Björk. But yeah, I think I 80% liked it and 20% maybe need a bit of time with it. When I'm editing, I'll be able to see what I feel. I think what it is like I wouldn't be able to listen to it all the time. It's more like, you know, when you watch a film, you don't want to watch the same film the next day. I suppose this kind of album has that same effect, where it's like, okay, I've heard it now, I might, you know, I don't want to watch it or listen to it again the next day. But when I'm editing, it might be different. I don't know. If this is your favourite album, then I'm sorry. It's not to do with the fact that it's bad. I actually really liked it. But yeah, maybe it's just the mood I'm in or something. I don't know. But thank you for watching. And if you do want to become a patron, then yeah, join me over on Patreon. I'll have the link in the description. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, I'll follow you back. And yeah, have an amazing day. And